Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Greg. Um, this is me. Today I've got something. The Shaimno Curaido DC in a 150 sized reel. So, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the Shaimno lineup, Shaimno is a Japanese-made manufacturer. They predominantly are the ones that are going to be producing a lot of your fishing gear. They also do biking, stuff like that. For me, I'm just doing the fishing side of things. I think they've got a fantastic product. I believe very, very harsh in their product. Now, if anybody knows what the Shaimno Curaido is, the Shaimno Curaido is the best-selling reel. This is going to be my opinion in the market. And the reason I say that is because the Shaimno Curaido, I can tell you with 100% without a doubt, it is going to be durable, reliable. I have had people come in here and they've said to me, hey man, I dropped my thing in the fire, pulled it out, besides a few scorch marks, the reel still works perfectly. Set the guy up with some new line, do your thing, and then it'll all work from there. My personal favorite thing about Shaimno as of right now in 2019 is the fact that they just came out in the United States with the newest reel is the Shaimno Curaido DC. Now, this is not new to the United States. This is technology that has been around for, if I'm doing this stuff in my head, and this is just off the ballpark, this is memory. I believe they've been around, this technology has been around for the last 15, 20 years, give or take. I might be wrong on that. If I am, please somebody tell me the right years so I don't look like a weirdo. But this is the first affordable reel. In the past, there have been other reels. I'm sure other companies know, other people know the names of the reels. I do not. I know for a fact that it's been out there in the US, but it's never been at an affordable price for the average Joe. This is why this new reel, 2019 Shaimno Curaido DC, is going to be off the chain. I can't wait to use it. In the past, they have always had, your past stuff. The problem is to get a DC chip in a reel. Back in the day, you were spending $700-800, maybe even $1,000. Saltwater fishermen, this is probably that's probably an average ballpark for you. For a bass fisherman, myself, I'm sorry. I mean, the most I would ever personally spend on a reel if I'm doing this for a living is around, $250, $300. I would definitely buy a $500, $700, $800 reel if I had the chance. If it suited my needs and if it was what I needed. The problem is it's not what I need at this point in time. What I'm doing is I have currently switched all of my bait casting and I'm in the process of going from 13 fishing reels. I have owned the Concept Z. I have the Concept A. I have the Concept, let's see, A, Z, and C. I own all three of those. I also own an Abu Garcia Aura Inshore Revo winch. Again, it's a great reel. I don't have problems with any of those reels that I own, but I need something different. I want something that's a little bit more reliable. And it's not to say that I don't like any of those companies. That's actually the exact opposite. I personally think that this is a change that I want, because my first fishing reel that I ever bought as an adult was from Shaimno, and it's time for me to make that full circle. And that's not to say that down the line I would ever, say, hey, I'm absolutely never going to go with Garcia. I'm never going to go with 13 fishing. It's at this point in time, I want to try something new. I want the best for what I'm doing. And right now, the Shaimno Curaido is it. It is an amazing reel. I haven't used it on the water yet, which I hope to this weekend. I do still have a factory job that I work. It's, it's not your typical 9 to 5 thing. I'm middle of the day, middle of the night. So this weekend, I'm going to have 7 days to myself. So we're going to be taking this in the next 7 days, and I'm going to be trying to get as much footage as I can without losing my phone or any recording stuff. So as you dive on into this box, this is what you will be met with. This is the packaging that you will receive with a Shaimno Curaido DC. When they come brand new out of the package, never before used, there will be a little thing that is right here. I peeled it off, but it's just a little security thing Shaimno puts on all their things. Some people will wrap it with, some companies wrap it, stuff like that. But this is just to make sure. But that little mark right there, that little sticker, that is from the manufacturer saying, hey, this is a brand new reel, this has been approved, and nobody's messed with this reel. When you get into your retail store to buy this reel, I can almost guarantee you there is going to be some sort of security measure to keep these products safe. Now, this is not a 101 on retail. This is what it's going to look like when you get into the box. And what happens as far as from a retailer's hands to yours. Basically what you're going to get is, we'll say I'll be the employee. I'll get this from, the semi. And then you'll have that little sticker right there. Make sure it hasn't been opened, and it's all fine and dandy. What you will do as the retailer is you'll take your knife. I'm in my house, so I'm not in a retail shop. But you will take your knife, slit it, and that breaks that seal. Then what the retailer does is then opens the box, and then you're left with a bunch of bubble wrap in here. I took the bubble wrap out. I'll be honest. Mine was bubble wrap. Mine was 100% correct. How it should be from the manufacturer. That's why I took it. That's why I looked at it. I examined it. But I took it out of the package, and it's left with bubble wrap. I take it out of the package, and I've looked at it, and then I start looking at it, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to use this. Well, the beautiful thing about these reels is not the fact, you're spending money on a reel. You know, any Joe Schmo can go buy a bait caster, and this is what I'm going to tell you. When it comes to a bait caster, your bare minimum, you can spend, you know, 30, 40 bucks at a, you know, knockoff shop. But the thing is I'm going to tell you right now, do not spend 30, 40 bucks on a bait caster unless you're just doing vertical jigging. You're just bouncing the rod up and down, and you want something that's quick and easy so that you can engage your reel and then re-engage it. Disengage, re-engage. It makes vertical jigging very easy. Walleye guys know what I'm talking about. Bass guys, I would say flipping is probably the easier thing for us to relate that to. I am in a Midwestern state, so it is a little bit different. As much as I want to go down south, I want to flip, pitch, thick, heavy hydrilla for bass and stuff like that. I live in the Midwest. It ain't gonna happen. So I try the best I can to do flipping and pitching. Unfortunately, right now, I don't use a fish finder. I don't use any of the technology. What I've got is I've got a map, and I've got my knowledge from what I look at. How I break apart a lake, how I break all that stuff down. But this reel is so versatile. This one in my hand right now, this is a 6:2 gear ratio. This is, I believe this is the lowest gear ratio that they sell. I could be mistaken. I believe they also have a 6.3 as well. I'm just going to quickly... I think they only have the one. But anyway, this is my absolute favorite. And here's why. The infamous DC Wine. Now, you're probably not going to be able to hear that right there. Those with very good hearing probably was able to hear that infamous whine. But basically what happens is when you're in the store, you can hear it, put it right up to your ear, you can hear that little whine. What that's doing is there is a chip in this reel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this reel up, take my cover, and we're going to open it. Okay, so this is what makes the Shaimno Curaido DC so expensive. And I'm not saying it's unaffordable. This is an MSRP of $249.99. This is so reasonable, you know, for kids. 15, 16-year-old kids, this is an expensive reel. I can't lie and say that. You know, I am a single person. I have nothing but myself and my bills to worry about. So for me, I can spend the money on the Shaimno Curaido DC. This is your whole technology right here. The actual computer chip they talk about is this. All right, it's this right here. That's your whole thing right there. Okay, and what happens with any fishing reel is this is your spool for your bait caster. So now that I've got these two pieces, I'm gonna bring them together. Now, If you look at a regular Shaimno reel, you'll notice something. Wait, it gets better. The trick is right here. Right there. Can you believe it? It comes in, bam, stays in. What? So this stays in here. Now what we're going to do is, if we were back doing stuff for fishing, now we're going to take this reel, put it right back in, so that nobody really notices what the heck's going on. Okay. Now that I've got that back in, I don't have to worry. Reel's all good, fine and dandy. You know, the handle feels very nice on here. This is one of the smaller handles. My hand roughly is about 3-4 inches from handle to handle. So it's got a nice feel. I am a right-handed cast, right-hand retrieve. That's what feels natural to me. That may or may not be what you find works for you. For me, I'm weird. I self-taught myself how to use a bait caster. I had tips and tricks from certain people along the way, but at the end of the day, I pretty much was self-taught with a bait caster. When you look for it, this little knob right here, this little gold, that little gold knob. All right, this gold knob, do not buy a reel without it. What this knob does is it's basically a, you know, like a pendulum almost. Kind of like a spool. I'm trying to find something I can use as a... All right, we'll just use this. So, this little plate right here, we'll say that this is my hand. This is your spool. And this is what it's doing in the reel. So what you want to do is you want to have your rate of you want to find what your rate of descent is. Not too fast, not too slow. Now, let's get into the gear ratio. The gear ratio, this is a 6:2 to 1. This is a phenomenal reel. It feels good, looks good. It's one of the best for the built purpose. Now, this is what I would use for this reel. I would use this for crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, flipping and pitching, stuff of that nature. And it's because I can get away with this stuff. This is at a slow gear ratio. This is at a 26 inch per revolution of the handle. This also comes in with 11 pounds of drag. This is not a musky reel. This is not one of those reels that's going to have 26 pounds. For smallmouth, largemouth fishing, 11 pounds of drag is a lot. For those European, this is 5 kilos. So 5 kilograms drag. Like I said, this has that 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. And it is a 6+1 bearing system. This also weighs 7.8 ounces. I'm gonna figure out if this is true or not. All right, so with the line on it, this weighs 8.1 ounces, and we'll show you here real quick.